Imagine standing at your niece's wedding. 700 guests, lights everywhere, music playing, everyone smiling. And then, you press one button. Suddenly, the entire hall goes silent, because on the giant screen behind the bride, a video begins playing. A video that exposes the bride's own father, a secret he thought was buried for 8 years. And within minutes, the wedding collapses. Not because of the bride, not because of the groom, but because of revenge that took 8 years to plan. And the man behind it? Her own uncle. If you've ever been betrayed by someone you trusted, especially family, you'll understand why this story is so intense. So before we begin, take 1 second to hit like and subscribe. Because the revenge in this story isn't loud. It isn't impulsive. It's patient, calculated, and unforgettable. Now let me tell you what happened. My name is Ahmed. Well, that's not my real name, but it'll do. I grew up in Lahore, Pakistan, in a middle-class family. Nothing fancy. Just a simple home, simple life, and 2 brothers. My older brother's name was Zaid. There was only a 4-year difference between us. But growing up, Zaid always made sure everyone knew he was the smart one, and I was the little idiot. Every family gathering was the same. If I made a joke, he'd say, "Don't mind Ahmed, he doesn't understand these things." If I talked about my job, he'd laugh. Let him dream. He'll learn one day. I ignored it for years, because he was my brother. But jealousy does strange things to people, especially when life starts going your way. When I was 24, something incredible happened. I got engaged. Her name was Mariam. She lived in our neighborhood. We had known each other for years. She was kind, educated, and the kind of person who made everyone around her feel calm. Our families met. Everything clicked. Within weeks, the engagement was official. Wedding preparations started immediately. Invitation cards were being printed. Our house was being decorated. Neighbors were visiting daily. Everywhere I went, people said the same thing. "Ahmed, your wedding is going to be amazing." But someone else was listening to those conversations too. My brother Zaid. He was 28, still unmarried. And for the first time in his life, I was ahead of him. And he hated it. About a month before the wedding, Mariam's father called me. His voice sounded strange, cold, serious. "Ahmed Beta, can you come over? We need to talk." My stomach tightened immediately. When I arrived, Mariam was sitting there too. Her eyes were red. Her father looked straight at me and said something that made my heart stop. "Ahmed, is it true that you drink alcohol and stay out all night?" I blinked. "What?" He continued. "I received a call from someone very close to you." Then he said the name. "Your brother, Zaid." My mind went blank. Mariam's father continued. "He told me your business is failing, that you're irresponsible, that you meet other women." I stood up instantly. "That's a lie." Mariam spoke up too. "Abu, Ahmed would never do that." But then her father pulled out something from his phone. Audio recordings. Voices of people supposedly talking about me drinking, partying, wasting my life. I knew those voices. They were old friends. But the conversations were clearly manipulated, edited, fake. I tried explaining. I swore on everything I loved. Mariam believed me, but her father looked exhausted. "Ahmed, even if you are innocent, I can't take this risk with my daughter." And just like that, my engagement was broken. That night I went straight home. Zaid was sitting in the living room watching TV. I stood in front of him. "Bye. Why did you do this?" He looked at me. Then, he smiled. A slow, mocking smile. "You always try to get ahead of me, little brother." My hands started shaking. "You destroyed my marriage." He shrugged. "Relax. You'll find someone else." Then he leaned forward and said the sentence I never forgot. "Now you know your place." Something inside me broke, but I didn't shout. I didn't fight. I didn't even argue. I just looked at him and nodded. Because in that moment, I made a decision. If he wanted to destroy my life, I would destroy something he loved even more. But not today, not tomorrow, one day. And when it happened, he would never forget it. Within months, I quit my job, packed my bags, and moved to Dubai. Not for revenge, for power. Because revenge without power is just anger. I worked brutal hours, construction sites, night shifts, double shifts. Some nights I slept 4 hours. But slowly, things changed. 3 years later, I wasn't the broke younger brother anymore. I had climbed into a senior position at a company. My salary was strong, my life was stable, but I still hadn't returned home. During those years, something important happened. Zaid got married, and eventually his daughter was born. Her name was Saima, my niece. Despite everything, I sent money as a gift when she was born. I never visited, but I kept watching from afar, because my plan had already begun. 4 years after leaving Pakistan, I moved again, this time to London. I started a small business. It was risky, but it worked. Money started coming in. Meanwhile, back home, Zaid's business was struggling. Bad investments, debt, stress, and quietly, without anyone knowing, I began helping his daughter. School fees, books, medical bills, tutoring, every expense. But I never told him. One evening my phone rang. It was Zaid, the first time he had called me in years. His voice sounded different, weaker. Ahmed, bro, can you help me? My business took a loss. I leaned back in my chair. 8 years earlier, he had destroyed my life. Now he was asking me for help. I smiled slightly. Of course. Bye. I sent him 200,000 rupees. He thanked me repeatedly. To him, I was still the naive younger brother, the fool. When Saima turned 17, I made my next move. I called Zaid. Bahe, I have a friend who might help get Saima into a boarding school in England. A scholarship. His excitement exploded instantly. Really? Within months, Saima was studying in England. I personally made sure she had the best education, best environment, best future. Because the better her life became, the more devastating the final moment would be. When Saima turned 18, another opportunity appeared. She had met someone, a young man from a wealthy family in London. Good reputation, good business family. Marriage talks started quickly. Zaid was overwhelmed with happiness. But the wedding would be in Lahore. And guess who paid for everything? Me. The venue, the decorations, the food. 700 guests. A luxury banquet hall. Zaid hugged me again and again. Ahmed, you've changed so much. I thought you hated me, but you're the best brother. I simply smiled, because the real program hadn't started yet. The hall was glowing with lights. Music filled the room. Saima looked beautiful in her white dress. Zaid stood proudly beside her. The nikah ceremony finished. Guests applauded. Everyone thought the night would continue with speeches and celebration. I walked toward the stage, microphone in hand. People expected a sweet uncle speech. Instead, I said something unexpected. Ladies and gentlemen, before we continue, I'd like to show a short video. I pressed the remote. The projector turned on, and suddenly, an 8-year-old recording appeared on the giant screen. There was Zaid, sitting in our old living room, talking on the phone. His voice echoed through the hall. Ahmed drinks alcohol. He stays out all night. This girl can't become my brother's wife. Gasps spread across the room. Then, the second recording played. The fake audio evidence he had used to break my engagement. The hall went completely silent. 700 people. No one spoke. Saima stared at the screen. Then, slowly, she looked at her father. Her eyes filled with tears. I lifted the microphone again. Saima Beta. Your father destroyed my engagement 8 years ago because he was jealous. My voice stayed calm. For 8 years, I supported your education, your future, this wedding. I paused. But you deserve to know the truth about the man who did it. I stepped back. The room held its breath. Saima wiped her tears, then spoke quietly. Chacha, I can't do this marriage today. She apologized to the groom's family and walked off the stage. The wedding ended right there. Zaid turned toward me, his face pale, his voice shaking. Ahmed, why? I leaned closer and whispered. 8 years ago, you said I always try to get ahead of you. I looked around the destroyed wedding hall. Today, I took away your greatest pride. Then I walked out. 3 months have passed. Zaid and his wife have separated. Saima now lives with me in England, continuing her studies. And Mariam, the woman whose life was once destroyed because of him, she and I have started talking again. Meanwhile, Zaid calls me almost every day, crying, begging, asking why I did this. But I always remember the words he told me 8 years ago. Know your place. Well, now he knows his. Sometimes revenge isn't about anger. Sometimes it's about balance. About making someone feel the exact weight of the pain they caused. Not through shouting, not through violence, but through patience and truth. If this story shocked you, let me ask you something. Was Ahmed justified, or did he go too far? Tell me what you think in the comments. And if you enjoy intense revenge stories like this one, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because the next story might be even crazier. And trust me, you won't want to miss it.